All right, everybody, this is the Fantasy Sports Boss. The NFL Draft is going to be here before you know it. Hit that subscribe, hit that notification button, and the like button on this video if you're new, so you're made aware when new videos are added. So, Anthony Richardson, quarterback of Florida, is he the next Justin Fields? Is he the next fantasy football dual threat stud, multi-dimensional talent at quarterback? The kind of quarterback that wins fantasy football leagues. There's not a lot of dual threat quarterbacks in the NFL. But if you were lucky enough to have one last year, you went a long way with Jalen Hurts, with Pat Mahomes, with Justin Fields. Justin Fields, the story of the season up until the last couple of weeks of the fantasy football playoffs, that is. But Anthony Richardson, to me, could be the next Justin Fields. So a lot to uncover and a lot to address with Anthony Richardson. But I also wanted to say my NFL Draft Prospect Guide is now available on Amazon. I'm also going to have a link on the channel homepage here. So make sure you check that out and make the purchase so you can get the draft guide. Now, as far as Richardson is concerned, 6'4", 235. He's got a good frame, strong, tremendous athlete, like just a top-notch level athlete, not maybe to the extent of Michael Vick, but certainly right there with Justin Fields. And we saw how Fields went nuclear running the football last season. This is very much part of the game for Anthony Richardson. Now, as far as the 2022 season was concerned, it was a lot of inconsistency. Played terribly against Vanderbilt, played terribly against Kentucky, but also put some real high-end performances as well. So the consistency wasn't there. He is still raw as a pure passer. He's more athlete right now than quarterback. And again, not to keep beating a dead horse, you could say the same thing about Justin Fields. Fields only threw 17 touchdowns last year in his sophomore NFL campaign. I know he didn't have a lot of help offensively. The offensive line was terrible, didn't have weapons to throw to, but he was indecisive, didn't read the defenses very well. Ball placement was an issue. These are all struggles, or, if you want to call it red flags when it comes to Anthony Richardson as well. But the athleticism is off the charts. There's vast ceiling, vast upside when it comes to Richardson. Now, for me, I have him as the fourth quarterback in the rankings. I have Bryce Young, number one, C.J. Stroud, number two, Will Levis, number three of Kentucky. And then there's a gap, and then Anthony Richardson. I think the top three guys are in a tier all their own. As a matter of fact, I think Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud are in a tier above Will Levis. Then there's Levis. Then there's Anthony Richardson. So, again, let's talk about the tools here. The arm strength is tremendous. So Richardson can make all the throws. Again, Michael Vick was the same way. Vick had an absolute cannon of an arm to go with all that nuclear speed. But his ball placement and accuracy were not great either. This is the issue that Richardson has as well. He can make all the throws. He can make the 25-yard outs. He can throw the deep ball. Whatever you want Richardson to do as far as having the strength to get the ball down the field, he could do that. And he's a dual threat. If the play breaks down, he is capable of tucking it and running and picking up big chunks of yardage in a flash. He's got tremendous speed. And the arm strength is beyond potent. So the physical tools are there. They're all in the makeup of Richardson, and that's why he has steadily risen up draft boards. He's gone from what originally I thought was going to be a second-round pick to possibly top 10, maybe even top 8. You got to look at the Carolina Panthers, even the Detroit Lions. I know they have 2 first-round picks. Do they get a backup that can learn from a year behind Jared Goff? They can get out of the Goff contract after the 2023 season with minimal cap hit, so that could be an option there as well. Now, the issues with Richardson, again, we talked about the inconsistency. Played terribly against Vanderbilt, of all teams. Struggled against Kentucky. Throwing mechanics are not great. His ball placement is not good. Doesn't anticipate and read, the opposing, what the defenses are trying to do to him. A lot of times he throws it slightly behind the receiver or right to him when they're out in the pattern instead of slightly in front so they could catch the ball and keep on throwing it. That's what makes Bryce Young such a great quarterback prospect for Alabama. His ball placement is uncanny. Puts it right where the receiver can catch it and not break stride and keeps the play moving down the field. Richardson does not have this in his tool belt right now. So throwing mechanics, he sidearms it too often, doesn't have the compact release that you would like, the smoothness in the release, the ball placement. All of those things are issues. Now, I've said many times, teaching accuracy at the NFL level is not something that is often seen as does not really improve much. So look at Kyle Bowler, Jamarcus Russell, Christian Ponder, Tim Couch, Zach Wilson, all guys who had accuracy problems in college just don't learn to improve there in the NFL. Josh Allen, the rare exception. But Josh Allen is just a rare talent as it is. So accuracy is not great. You're not going to get a highly accurate quarterback out of Richardson. You're hoping for 60%. But when you add in all the intangibles, the speed, the athleticism, the picking up chunks of yardage on the ground, you can live with that to an extent. So the measurables are good. 6'4", 235, 40-yard dash time. He's straddling under the 4.5 mark. So he's, 4.8, 4.9. That's very good for a quarterback. He has franchise quarterback potential. I think there's 4 quarterbacks. He's one of them that have franchise capabilities. Also, talking about fantasy football, this is a fantasy football channel. In addition to my NFL draft coverage, he is fantasy friendly. So Richardson picking up yards on the ground. Also, whatever he does throwing the football, he is a fantasy friendly quarterback. Not saying rookie year he's going to be a help there, but sophomore year, like Justin Fields, certainly. So we got to see what's going on in terms of the combine, how he grades out there. But his stock is steadily rising. All right, hit that subscribe, hit that notification button. More NFL draft profiles on the way.